Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, P Funk, thinking right in my living room. What I do for you. Today, rather than 25 rules to live by, storytelling, story with a message, message and a story for life. These are the life lessons I'm giving them. I'm glad to see you tune in to receive them. I appreciate you. Let's do this. I got a good one for you today. Right thinking mission is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Give you information and help you know yourself a little bit better. Right thinking is a way of life through mental and spiritual discipline daily will help and guide you to attain your goal of spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. That's my mission. I'm on it. You know the deal. Next one is the question. Your turn. Know thyself. Left to us by the ancients, it states, a person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and know that they know not is simple. Teach them. That's what I do for you. I got you. A person who knows not and believes that they know dangers, avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them with spiritual knowledge. I'm the spiritual alarm clock. I got that for you too. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself. And to Mayat be true. Yeah, we got to talk about Mayat, but this lesson, I'm going to get into introduction of Ra Akhu from the glorious light, first formal meditation in history. It's called the ancient meditation for modern times. And I'm going to substitute their words for right thinking. It goes like this: the art of right thinking, philosophy, is a yoga discipline which was what practiced in ancient Egypt for the purpose of promoting spiritual enlightenment. And what right thinking philosophy is all about, promoting spiritual enlightenment. Well, excuse me, while it's not a religion, again, right thinking is not a religion, bam. It is a tool used by religious and non religious spiritual seekers to go within to discover the higher consciousness. I just gave a lesson on consciousness. This booklet presents the Kemetic ancient Egyptian teachings related to the practice of right thinking, aka meditation, or yoga is the practice of what mental, physical, and spiritual disciplines which lead to self-control, self-discovery by what? Purifying the mind, body, and spirit. That Trinity again. So as to discover the deeper spiritual essence which lies within every human being and object in the universe. The spirit, the hidden one, amen. In essence, the goal of every yoga practice, watch this, is to do what? Unite or yoke one's individual consciousness with what? The universal cosmic consciousness, aka God. Therefore, the ancient Egyptian religious practice, especially in terms of the rituals and other practices of the ancient Egyptian temple system, known as Shita Netta, aka right thinking philosophy. And the definition is the way of the hidden supreme being, God. I'm giving you God knowledge, aka spiritual knowledge. I don't make this stuff up, okay? This is stuff that I follow. This is stuff that I go by. Same way I use the Bible, I got books I use them the same way. I'm just breaking it down with you as I'm reading along with you. That's what I do for you. All right. May be termed, watch this. It says, okay, the hidden supreme being. Now, may be termed as what? Yoga system, the Egyptian yoga. In this sense, religion in its purest form. The purpose intent religion is a yoga system. Right now, they call it a belief system, as it seeks to what? Reunite people with their true and original source. I argue the fact about religion because I understand what religion is. I'm trying to teach my students the purpose of religion. It ain't to argue, dispute, and discredit. It's about learning and understand how to commune, how to communicate with your higher power. We call it God. Ancients had a name, Neteru. Same principle, same thing. Now watch this. The yoga disciplines, the disciplines of yoga fall into 5 major categories. Did this lesson a while ago, but I'm going to go back over it. These are 1. Yoga of wisdom. 2. Yoga of devotional love. 3. Yoga of meditation. 4. Tantric yoga. That's the one I don't mess with because it's physical and I don't get involved in that. I go to the gym and work out on my own. And 5 is yoga of selfless service. That's where right thinking falls at. I use yoga of wisdom, yoga of devotional love. I use yoga of meditation, and I'm specific and master of yoga of selfless action. That's what right thinking is all about. Now, within these categories, there are subsidiary forms which are part of what? The main disciplines. The emphasis in the Osirian myth, again, the myth is on what? The yoga of wisdom, my favorite. Yoga of devotional love, again, and yoga of selfish. Those 3 things that I study is the ones that's prevalent to me. Those are the ones I use, again. Now, the important point to remember is that all aspects of yoga can and should be used in what? Integral fashions to effect an efficient and harmonized spiritual movement in the practitioner, which is you, the individual, okay? Therefore, while there may be an area of special emphasis, like I told you, I got my 3, other elements are bound to become part of your yoga program as needed. I don't need the Tantra yoga. I'm not getting down and flipping and getting all the postures. Why? I just told you, I'm getting too old for that. And I ain't pressing myself. I just take the other parts that work for me. Again, everything when you learn it is a la carte. Take what applies to you, let the rest go. You ain't got to have it all. Some people are greedy. Hey, your preference. Now watch this. Now, for example, while a yogian, which is a yogi practicing, may place emphasis on yoga of wisdom, and which what I do, study. They may also practice, again, devotional yoga and meditation. Those 3 yoga, along with wisdom studies, you will acquire knowledge of self, understanding how to use it, ways to practice doing what you need to do for yourself. Watch this. So the practice of any discipline that leads to oneness with the supreme consciousness can be called yoga. Religion is pure form, yoga. Egyptian mystery system, yoga. Right thinking, philosophy, yoga. That's my point. Now, watch this. If you study, rationalize, and reflect upon the teachings, you are practicing yoga of wisdom. That's it. If you meditate every day upon the teachings and your higher self, God, you are practicing yoga of meditation. If you practice rituals, which identify you with your spiritual nature, you are practicing yoga of ritual identification, which is part of the yoga of wisdom and yoga of devotional love. That's what it's all about. If you develop your physical nature, which is what I don't do, I work out, your psychic energy centers, you are practicing serpent power, kundalini, or Uraeus yoga. Understand that one too. Which is part of what? The Tantric yoga, which is the one I understand, but I don't mess with. All right? Understand it? Now, if you practice living according to the teachings of ethical behavior and selfless service, what I do, right thinking, you are practicing yoga of action, aka Maya, in daily life. That's the one I live by. I'm a little excited about that, okay? So if you're practicing turning your attention towards the divine by developing love for the divine, then that is called devotional yoga or yoga of divine love. The practitioner of yoga is called a yogian. Male practitioner, yogini if you're female practitioner. And one who has attained, watch this, accumulation of yoga, union with the divine. When I told my brother a few years ago that I talked to God, he thought I was crazy. Man, you gonna tell people that on air? You gonna put it happened, my man. What am I supposed to do? I'm gonna tell you the truth. Been doing it for years, so yeah. And watch this. If you're okay, you union with divine, you are called a yogi. In this manner, yoga has been developed into many disciplines which may be used in, like I say, in an integral fashion to achieve the same goals. It don't make a difference which way you get to the top of this pyramid. It's 8 ways to do that. If you use religion, Islam, Judaism, they're all ways to get to the top. If it's done correctly, that's what it's for. That's the intent of religion. That's what I want to get my people to understand. Religion is the purpose of getting to God. Yoga teaches you how to commune with God. But religion took God out of man and put him up there. So I don't subscribe to that concept. That's one of my things I don't agree with. Let me get back to this lesson. I'm about to get off. I'm almost done. All right, now watch this. Now in this manner, yoga, did that already, had been developed and used in integral fashions to what? To achieve the same goal, enlightenment. And essentially, anyone who have achieved this level of higher consciousness can be described as a yogi, regardless of whatever path they use. Master self, enlightened being, how you got there, I tell my pastor, I didn't get enlightened. I didn't have my conversation with God from Bible studying. Living, doing, studying, living it. That's how I got mine. That's what I'm teaching. I got no problem with religion, but that ain't what I got mine from. I got to teach what I got mine from. That's right thinking. That's where it comes from. All right? Now, no matter what, however, in the case of Egyptian practice, we have a term called simma. That is actually the same in meaning as the familiar term yoga of India. Same thing, we call it simma toi. Therefore, the aspirant should learn about all the paths of yoga, at least be familiar with them. I know all 5 of them, but like I say 4 of them I practice. The one I know about ain't my cup of tea, so I pass it by. Let it be known I don't do that. Therefore, the aspirant should learn all about yoga, and choose the elements which what best suits him or her personality, or practice them all in integral but in a balanced way. Got to keep the balance. I try to keep my meditative process same way all the time. I do that for a purpose of routine. You get used to something after doing it for a while, it becomes routine, a way of life. Enlightenment is a term used to describe people. We talk about enlightenment. Let me break down for you right quick. Enlightenment is a term used to describe the highest level of spiritual awakening. The 7th ring on the chakra, the Kundalini. The highest ring is 7. When you get there, you consider an enlightened being. It means attaining such a level of spiritual awareness that one discovers the underlying unity of the entire universe, as well as the fact that the source of all creation is the same source from which the innermost self within every human heart arises. I explained to you the Egyptians weighed the heart at Judgment Day for that purpose. Why? Truth and memory of everything you do, think, and feel stays in the heart. That's why. Okay? And I hear people, I don't concern myself with what you were taught. I don't concern myself with what somebody said. I know what I know. I'm just going to tell you what I know. We don't have to debate back and forth. You can take it or leave it. I have a problem. But don't tell me something about what you know that I already know. You ain't enlightening me. I'm enlightening you to something you don't know. That's my mission. That's my job. That's what I do for you. Get back to this lesson. Sorry about that. All right. Now, in all forms of spiritual practice are directed toward what? The same common goal of assisting every individual to do what? Discover the true essence of the universe, both externally in physical creation and internally within the human heart as the very root of human consciousness. I get excited about that. I hope you follow along. I hope you understand. I'm trying to bring it to you a little slow so you can get the understanding. but thus many terms are used to describe the attainment of the goal of spiritual knowledge and the eradication of what? Spiritual ignorance. That's my goal as a right thinking philosophy. I want to eradicate your ignorance. I want to bring you from ignorance into knowledge, light, the glorious light, all that good stuff. I'll call it knowledge of self. Okay? I'm a simple dude. I just want it to work. It ain't got to look good, it ain't got to sound good. I want to make sure it's simple so that you can read it, understand it, and then use it and see that it works. All that fancy talking and dressing up, I ain't got time for that. Some of these terms, watch this, are, watch this, you got enlightenment, you got resurrection, you got salvation, you got the kingdom of heaven, you got moksha, you got liberation, you got Buddha consciousness, one with the Tao, self-realization, to know thyself, all of it, etc., etc. All those names are identifying the same one thing. Understand that, please. Now I'm about to wrap it up, and again, I appreciate you tuning in. This book, what I'm reading from, will focus on the Sema Yoga of meditation as it is practiced and was practiced in ancient Egypt. When one thinks of the practice of meditation, usually the image comes up with the mind of an Indian and the Indian practitioners of yogi or a monk or nuns. However, the practice of formal meditation goes way back to what? Pre-Christian era, in which what I've studied, pre-Christian information, and even further, before yoga was developed in India, watch this, the book that will present the essence of the first known formal meditation instructions which were given by the sages of ancient Egypt. It is based on the hieroglyphic text that was found on the four walls in the small chamber, which is entered by the hall of columns in the tomb of Seti I. Seti I, the second king of the 19th dynasty. 19 dynasty. Okay, I mean, it was 18 before them. A whole lot of things happened between that time, which is situated in the what? West bank of the Nile at the city of Waset, aka Thebes, in Egypt, northeast corner of Africa. The estimated date of completion of this temple was sometime between 1306 BCE and 1290. As with other myths of ancient Egypt, such as that of the Osirian resurrection, the myth of the destruction of unrighteous men and women, and the story of Het-Haru, Hathor, and Tahuti Thought was an ancient culture myth dating to the inception of what? Ancient Egypt civilization, 5,000 to 3,000 BCE. Christians weren't even thought of, which did not originate with what? The construction of the Seti temple. It was way before that. It was just used at the temple, but was only recorded there for what? Prosperity. So that it would be left in stone for us to get it. Information, truth is timeless. Watch this. I'm about to wrap it up again. I appreciate you tuning in. As you will see, the Ra, Akhu, glorious light, scripture has a close parallel in the earlier Per M. Haru text, ancient Egyptian book coming forth by day, in circa 1800 BCE, in reference to what? The divine soul. This is what it read. These are the words for making the transformation, listen to this, into the soul of Tem, which is God in the West. These words are to be said by Asar, who is spiritually victorious. There is no going into the place of exaltation. I do not perish. I do not experience this. I am Ra, coming forth from the noon. Bad man. Okay? The divine soul. Ra's telling you who he is, where he comes from, what he represents. The creator of his own body parts. Unrighteousness is an abomination to him. I do not see it, For my thoughts, again, are with Maya exclusively. I live in it. I am the God Hu, the one who does not perish in his name of divine soul. I myself created my own name with Nun. My name is Kepria, Kepri, and in the form of what? God, Ra, I am all light. The sun never shuts down. Constant. Let me read this, wrap it up for you. The book is of this expansion of the Glorious Light Meditation System, first presented in the Book of Meditation, the Ancient Egyptian Path to Enlightenment by my teacher, Dr. Muta Ashby. It is detailed study of the philosophy and practice of the system of what? Meditation, as it was practiced in ancient Egypt. There's a picture here, 71, offering up Maya. Okay, this is what I do for you. And for all my right thinkers, I appreciate you tuning in. Hope that's what's good for you. I got some more. I'll be back.